All right, guys, this is the next video here in my catch-up time here. So today is November 16th, but I'm going back and doing the days that I missed because of the move and my excess busyness from that. And so this time we're going to be doing Thursday, November 11th, 2021. And so the day before, which was Wednesday, I had booked the U-Haul and then gone on this walk with my friend where we were discussing a whole bunch of these ministry things, spiritual matters there on our walk when we were talking. So that was mostly what got done Wednesday after I got back from work. Now, this day, Thursday, the 11th, was actually Veterans Day. So, being a federal employee, I got this day off from work. And on this day, one of the things that I was doing was I had this idea of actually hiring someone part time to help me do some of the administrative things involved in running a YouTube ministry. And so, things of this nature are kind of writing summaries for videos and making timestamps and doing the video processing and uploading and titling them and making links to the playlists and all of these sorts of things. Well, it's kind of just busy work isn't quite the right word, but it's administrative work. Something that doesn't necessarily have to be done by just me. And so I thought long and hard about this and was in discussions with a friend who could kind of use the work and kind of we discussed it, and then I spent a long time writing out how this would work. So this was an idea I'd had, and I wanted to really get to the bottom of it and see if it was possible, see if it would work, and how we'd go about organizing invoices and paying for services and organizing the work and communicating with one another and things like that. So I actually wrote out a contract. Now, typically when you hire people as freelancers, it's a good idea to have a contract just to set expectations and kind of keep all parties on the same page. Even if you know the person well, it's still kind of a good idea just to have it in writing. So I actually went ahead and wrote out a full contract. It ended up being probably like 12 or 13 pages. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but just kind of looked at a couple guides on the internet about this sort of thing and hit all the main sections. A lot of it is pretty standard, like how do you communicate expectations? How do you, when is the pay happen? Does it happen up front? Is it half before, half after? Does it happen after? How much work do you pay for at a given time? Do you pay for just a week? Do you pay for a month in advance? You get the idea. All of that sort of thing, and how you settle out these things and work through disagreements and all of that sort of stuff. I just never thought about it that much before, so I spent a lot of this day on Thursday doing that. Now, the other thing here, given that we were going to move on Saturday, so 2 days from this day, we packed everything else, and by everything I mean everything. And then we had to make all of this go down 2 flights of stairs, carrying all the boxes. Probably made dozens. I don't know about dozens, but definitely tens of trips here. Probably 20 or 30 trips up and down 2 flights of stairs to get everything in our cars. So we were driving things in our cars just to get everything moved over before we moved the big stuff. And this means that when we had that rental truck there, that we didn't have to make tons of trips when we were paying for per mile there. We could just move the big stuff in a couple loads. But to do that, we had to make trips ourselves here. And so this was time consuming. We packed absolutely everything, moved absolutely everything. And we actually had to make 2 separate trips to get everything else in the house there. So this is what we were doing on Veterans Day there. Once I was there, I actually had bought this table that I'd mentioned in the Amazon order earlier to put the second microwave on. Well, I actually had to build that. And so that's where the second microwave, the air fryer, and the Instant Pot, so the pressure cooker, well, they're going to kind of live on this thing here, free up some counter space there. Now, I wasn't actually particularly happy. The instructions weren't terribly good. It used wood screws, not bolts. I kind of wish I'd read more carefully. I much prefer things that assemble with bolts because you have no possibility of splitting the wood. And here I did over tighten a little and the wood did split. So it ended up just barely wobbly, although almost unnoticeably so. So I know about it because I put it together. Most people probably won't notice. So not the end of the world. And it was quite cheap, mind you. And that's why these things were as they or kind of how things ended up how they did. But I had to build this table. It took me probably an hour, like I said, because the instructions were not very good. I also assembled the new dish rack that came as well, the one that's not over the sink, so it doesn't obstruct visibility as well. I also did laundry today. So this day here on the 11th, that Veterans Day, I was super busy, did 2 loads of laundry. Or was it just, no, actually, I think it was just 1 load. All of the laundry here because I'm not going to have a washer and a dryer here for a while because I want to get all the other house stuff done before I worry about buying those. So we're going to be without a washer and a dryer here. So I had to get all the laundry done before we moved here. And that's what I did here on Veterans Day on November 11th. So these were the things I got done on the 11th. This was a really busy day, packing up and moving everything else other than the big stuff. And so I will pick back up in just a second, talking about the next day.